Trading will always find a way to humble you. No matter who you are, no matter how long you've been trading, no matter where you are in your trading career, no matter how much success you've had in the past or lack of success, like trading will always find a way to humble you in some form or fashion. And so, with that being said, I blew up for the first time in months, like since I've started to get payouts. So months at this point. So February to what? It's the end of June now. For the first time since I've started to have success, I blew up on the charts. Um, and as you can see, these Alpha Futures accounts, 3 of them. Literally, my last video 2 days ago was saying how I passed those in 2 days, and they are now blown. Um, and the only way they're blown this fast is if I break my rules, and that's exactly what I did. 2 days in a row, and it doesn't matter how small the initial slip up is. If you break your rules, it's going to spiral, and it's going to spiral especially if you don't have barriers put in place to protect yourself. And the biggest thing is I'm not attributing the blame on this, like it is completely my fault. But one of the big things about these alpha accounts is that their new platform doesn't yet have trade lockouts and daily loss limits. They don't yet have that like Top Step does. And so those barriers were stripped away from me, and it's unfortunate. It's embarrassing. But guess what happened? I blew up without those barriers in place, and for a certain amount of time, I didn't even need those barriers. But like I said, without those barriers in place, all it takes is one little slip up, and it is so easy for that one mistake, that one slip up that's barely breaking your rules, let's say, to just spiral and to let your emotions take over. And your emotions can take over because there's no way to lock you out of your account automatically like I've had for the past 4 to 5 months. I've had that in place, and I didn't have that, and I spiraled, and I blew these accounts in 2 days. Um, just incredibly emotional, and literally the only statistical trade that I took was break even, and everything else was a bunch of BS. And so I'm gonna make the trade recap and go over it. But just some notes that I wrote down after today was I just simply just said this week wasn't even trading, it was straight up gambling. And the root cause of it was not having those barriers in place and having one slip up yesterday, which we're going to go over, which led to me losing $1,500 today, taking 3 to 4, or just over leveraged, over trading, just everything that comes along with being emotional on the charts. When in reality, today should have been a textbook break-even trade, and I'm off for the day. Yesterday, a loss shouldn't have even occurred because I shouldn't have even taken a trade. So trading will always find a way to humble you, and the whole premise, the whole reason that I have this channel is to be as transparent as possible. And regardless of if they show it or not, I promise you, your favorite trading influencer, whoever you watch, whoever is in your head right now, these days happen, and that's not an excuse for me to feel validated. I'm just letting you know this is 100%, 1000% a part of trading, whether or not your favorite person shows you or not. Okay? And it's important when days like this and spirals like this happens, you have to take responsibility for your actions, or else it will never get better. And this YouTube channel allows me to do that. So I'm going to continue to be as transparent as possible. So I took a trade yesterday that resulted in a loss, and the trade itself was breaking my rules. Why was it? past 11 a.m. New York time. If you follow me on this channel, if you're in the Discord, if you've seen some of my videos, you know that this is one of my main rules is I will not trade and I will log off after 11 a.m. New York time. Preston, why? That doesn't make any sense. If price action is good past 11 a.m. New York time, you're gonna miss them. You're gonna miss out on a bunch of trades. No. The past 2 to 3 years, I have experience. All my experience has come from the New York AM Open, market open, 9:30 to 11 a.m. New York time. I specialize in the market open volatility and the morning move and the morning objective. That is how I've traded my whole futures day trading career. And I have this rule set in place partly because price action usually chops after the morning move is over and after this designated time. After the first hour to 2 hours of the market open, the morning move has already occurred and we tend to chop. More times than not, it leads to market chop. So there's less volatility in the markets, therefore less quality good trades. Another big reason is because I know that I am more emotionally fragile and a less disciplined, less patient trader after I've been sitting at my desk for 1.5 to 2 hours straight, which will lead to me taking subpar trades. I know that about myself, and I also know that the price action itself tends to not be good after the morning move has already occurred. So this trade yesterday happened, the entry was at 11:15 New York time. I know I shouldn't be on the charts. The morning move, bro, we've already dumped 800 to 900 points on the NASDAQ, and I am still looking for a trade. Now, does it make sense? Yes. I have the ability to read markets. It makes sense. This is my drawn liquidity. But after this morning move has already happened, we do not have to go there right that second, right then. You can see the distribution from this move doesn't happen until overnight last night. Is my trade idea correct? Yes, but that doesn't mean my trade is going to be profitable. So yesterday, I stayed patient throughout this whole market open move. If you were trading on Thursday, you obviously know we dumped almost 1,000 points on the NASDAQ right off open. I was trying to get filled on this dump here, and there was just never an entry. I was looking to potentially get filled here on this pullback, this initial pullback, because there was sell side liquidity right here that I was originally targeting. And I wanted to enter here, but we never actually came back and tapped these imbalances. We failed to even rebalance to this 1 minute gap. Therefore, I literally cannot take a trade. So I sat out of this initial move. This was the hourly low. This was this first hourly low that I was trying to target. And we continued to dump all the way down here to this 4-hour sell side. Now, ES took this 4-hour sell side liquidity down here. And I actually took a break-even trade. Once we got further down into the range, it was right here. I noticed, okay, we're literally not giving any pullbacks whatsoever. If we get a pullback displacement out of it, I'm going short because we're moving with good volume and good volatility. So we rebalanced to this 1 minute, got a nice displacement candle out of there. Went and break even relatively fast and got break even. We failed to deliver to the 4-hour low, and this was a break even trade. At this point in time, my trade idea is still valid. I see that the 4-hour candle close and the hourly candle close. Look at this 4-hour candle close. Reacting out of a daily gap, 1,000 point, 800 point 4-hour candle, closing all the way down here by the sell side liquidity. There's no doubt in my mind that we're going to go take it, even though ES has already taken it. But what do I need? I need extra confirmation. I need a retrace and a flip because I don't want to get retraced on. So I'm waiting patiently after that break even, and we start to slowly grind up and consolidate without a move. It is now past 11 a.m. New York time. And I'm just going to show you the entry, man. I hate going over these losing trades because it's just so dumb of me. It's so dumb of me. But we rebalanced to this 15-minute gap. We put in this initial wick here, rejection wick, next candle opens, rejection wick from the highs again. We close a okay candle to the downside on this 15-minute candle, and this was my entry. It looked a little bit better on the 5-minute chart. You can see the 5-minute looks a little bit more like displacement. Still not even the best reaction ever. This is partly just me saying there's no way we don't take this sell side liquidity. I just want to get filled and get in this trade because there's no way we don't go take it. Is my draw on liquidity correct? Yes, we eventually delivered, but but my trade still loses because I'm breaking my rules. I want you to see that. And there's a reason that I have this cutoff time, because what do? This morning move, expansion move, has already happened. What do we do after 11 a.m. New York time? We chop, and we don't deliver until overnight. This is why I have these rules in place. Also, as soon as I entered here on this 15-minute candle close, what happens? A 1-hour gap opens up above me, and my stop loss is literally the beginning of this 1-hour gap. It literally is the beginning of this 1-hour gap. I don't even realize that upon my entry because I'm so focused on trying to capitalize and trying to take a trade. I don't even realize this. And I start to go into drawdown and I zoom out and I see, wow, my stop loss is literally this 1-hour gap. I'm going to get retraced on. And there's literally nothing I can do. I'm just sitting here in drawdown, praying that it goes back down, but knowing that I am screwed. And I eventually get stopped out. So that's a 1-hour loss. $500 loss, $2,000 drawdown. That's a risk management is a part of my rules. Nothing wrong with the risk management, except what do? I'm emotional because I know I shouldn't have entered there and I took a loss. So what do I try to do? And I don't have these risk parameters and these barriers on these alpha accounts put into place. So what do? It's really easy for me to be emotional. My draw on liquidity is still correct. I'm like, bro, there's no way we don't deliver. So what do? I re-enter based on the higher time frames with a bigger stop loss. Simply, the entry was literally incredibly discretionary. I see we come back up and put in this rejection wick. The entry is somewhere around there with a stop loss covering the majority of this 1-hour gap because my mind came up rejected. With that hourly wick, we've already rebalanced to equilibrium of the range. I expect this hourly fair value gap to deliver us lower. And guess what? That plays out. It plays out. So how do I not take a win there? Well, I'm trading on these funded accounts. What can you not do? You can't hold a trade overnight. And by the way, not to mention, while I'm FOMOing back into this trade, breaking my rules yet once again, I'm sitting in drawdown throughout the entire day, the entire PM session. I am sitting in drawdown, beating myself up mentally. Why the hell would you ever re-enter there? Why would you even break your rules in the first place with that initial loss? And it's just this mental battle, and I can't even go about my day and live my life without having this mental stress because I know that I broke my rules. If that's the only motivation you should ever have for not wanting to break your rules, is so you can just live your life in peace. You cannot have a peaceful life if you know in the back of your head you broke your rules and you didn't follow your rules, and it leads to unnecessary stress just in life in general. I'm sitting there in class just not even focused on what the professor is saying because I'm just mentally thinking about this trade, thinking about how stupid I am for breaking my rules, regardless of if this trade plays out or not. And this actually ended up being a break-even trade. Why? Because I know I have to close this by the market close or else it's going to get automatically liquidated for me. So we ended up coming back down to my break-even point and I manually closed it. It was like 2:15, 2:30. Market closes at 3 for me. So I closed it at break-even, and that's that, somewhere around here. And the delivery doesn't happen until, what is this, 10 p.m. 10 p.m. at night for me. So down 1 hour yesterday, broke my rules on the loss, broke my rules on the reentry, and it got break even, so I got saved in that scenario. And so I come into the market today already still on emotional tilt because of what had happened yesterday and without any trade barriers because Alpha Futures doesn't have that feature yet on their accounts. So I come into today and I'm just going to do a typical market recap coming into the morning here because nothing is wrong with my market with the way that I'm analyzing the market. So this is what we look like coming into the market open today for Friday. Still holding bearish structure. All I said was everything is still bearish to me. Let's see if we want to continue lower. I want to see us continue to hold this 4-hour gap and potentially continue down to the sell side liquidity. That is the only potential trade that makes sense to me this morning. So, but I'm already still on emotional tilt from yesterday. So what happens today? I take a good trade and it got break even. I take a good trade. Pre-market, we're holding this 4-hour gap. This becomes the 4-hour sell side liquidity. This is the market maker sell model. This is the literally only potential trade to be taken today. Yes, we had taken this liquidity to the left of us yesterday. ES is still weak, and it still makes sense because the higher time frames are bearish. Market structure has shifted, and so it makes sense to have this weekly swing low as our external target, being bearish by default. And I want to zoom in here and see, are we going to continue to hold bearish structure, because I can potentially capitalize off of that and take a trade. So pre-market, we had opened up this 15-minute gap within this potential sell model that I want to see hold, and exactly what I wanted to see happened. Right off market open, we come up and rebalance to this 15-minute fair value gap, and this is going to tell me all that I need to know about my bias and about whether or not I can take a trade. If we hold this bearish gap and we get displacement out of it, I have reasons to believe we're going to continue lower, and I can take a good statistical trade that's a part of my trading strategy. And that's exactly what I did initially. We come up, tap into this 15-minute gap. This is the market open candle wick. You can see there's a little dashed line at the wick low. And so at this point in time, we put in this wick low, we rebalance even further. I'm like, okay, if we get a displacement candle, and I'm zoomed into the 1-minute chart here because everything else high time frame, and the high time frame context is already aligned. We're already getting the retrace, and I'm just waiting for a bearish reaction to confirm lower. So I'm zoomed into the 1-minute chart here pretty early on, and that's valid. That's fine. I have every reason to believe we're going to continue lower here. So we get this displacement candle that closes below the market open wick. That's all I needed to see in order to slap on a short. So I slapped on a short after the 9:32 1-minute candle close. What happens? The next candle opens up and we flush all the way down and actually through the internal low. So I'm like, I'm chilling here. This happens really fast. I'm like, oh, break-even points hit. This trade's about to smash TP. Look at this candle close here. This was very volatile. Almost 100-point candle. We closed below the internal low. I'm about to freaking smash TP. The next candle opens up, continues lower, and then we reverse, and I get break-even, which is fine. That's a textbook break-even trade for me. And if we're going to reject the internal low, I no longer want to be a part of this trade, because we should not reject there. We should flush through it and go take the external sell side if that's really what the market wants to do. You can also see, zooming out to the 5-minute chart, this first 5-minute candle market open completely wicks out the internal low. There's a reason I go break even here, and I know it. And that's why it's a part of my trading plan and my trading rules. There's a reason why I do what I do, to protect myself from myself. So after this happens, after we reject the internal low, what do I need to see in order to take a short again? I would have to see us continue past the new internal low that's put in. And you might be like, Preston, how is that going to happen? The sell side liquidity is only 20 points away from where that internal low is. Then you just don't take a trade. Then you just don't take a trade if what you have to see to confirm that we're actually going to go lower because we just rejected the internal low. If that's what I have to see, which it is, and I know it is, and that doesn't happen, then you just don't take a trade and it's fine. And you just go into the weekend taking a break-even trade, protecting yourself, and all is well. You still have almost a full drawdown to go into next week with 3 copy traded 50K accounts. Keep in mind, I know that if I trade this way, I know that I am profitable and I'm going to rinse these prop firms and I'm going to be able to make thousands of dollars like I've shown you and documented on this channel. But no, because I broke my rules yesterday, like I said, I am already emotionally fragile coming into the market today. And I told myself I should take today off. What do? I get on the charts anyways. There's no way to lock myself out. This is my job right now. This is what I do. So I convince myself I'm chilling. And guess what? I was not chilling because after this break-even trade, you can see this chop here. And what do? I literally FOMO the rest of my account into these trades. That's what I do. I take another loss here. So I just want to get this straight. In order to take a valid short after this point in time, getting break even, I would need to see us come back down and close below the internal low. And let's say the draw on liquidity is actually down here. There's still some room to potentially execute. But if the draw is this close, it's fine if you just miss out. If we don't deliver here and you miss out on I miss out on the move, it's just not meant to be. It's just not meant to be, and it's okay to have a break-even day. But I can't accept that because I'm already emotionally on tilt coming into today because yesterday I broke my rules. So what do? Oh, I just pattern trade this inverse fair value. Yep. Oh, my draw on liquidity is still correct, right? Let me just re-enter here because I have to make some sort of profit on the week. Stop loss. So I have $1,000 left in drawdown. What do? I blow up. Screw it. And the heat of the moment, emotions are taking over. Displacement candle, just a random displacement candle. Let me just take this, bro. I actually waited for a pullback. I'm not that degenerate. I didn't take a negative R trade. I'm just kidding. But like, I actually did wait for a pullback. Screw it, bro. Screw it. That's the mentality that I'm in right now. Stop loss. Were any of those valid trades? Or any of my trades that lost, that blew these accounts, were they valid trades? No. These were not. No. Yesterday's trade was not a valid trade. It broke my rules. Every single trade that blew up these accounts were not a part of my rules. So, I'm sorry for the crash out. This recording is already 23 minutes long. I don't know who is watching this all the way through, but this is more so for me than anything. I hope that if you're watching this all the way through, I really hope this gives you some sort of value so you can see how easy it is to blow up if you don't have these barriers and these parameters put in place, and to show you how easy it can become even after having a bunch of success. Like, trading is hard. It is the most difficult thing you are ever going to do, and just because I've had success and gotten payouts, the market does not owe me anything. As soon as your ego steps in, you will be humbled. As soon as my ego comes back and I start breaking my trading rules, I will be humbled. And it is shown today. It is shown. It's going to happen. The market will humble you regardless of where you are in your trading journey if you let your ego and your greed and your emotions take over. It doesn't matter who you are, what level you're on, how much money you have, how much money you've been making from the markets. It does not care about you. It doesn't care. You're not special. You have to continue to do I have to continue to do what's gotten me here. This is not what's gotten me to where I am today. And I am glad. I'm so glad that the market took these accounts away from me and humbled me because I deserve it. I don't deserve success whenever I come in and break my rules like this. I deserve to have the rug pulled out of me. I deserve to feel like my dog just died. That gut-wrenching feeling. You're just sitting here. I don't have to explain it to you. If you're watching this video, you know exactly that feeling that I'm talking about. I deserve that today. I deserve it. So the only trade that was a part of my plan on these accounts is this break-even trade. This is a textbook break-even. This is a part of my rules, but it doesn't matter because I've already broken my rules yesterday. I'm already emotionally on tilt. And so these accounts were blown, like I said. All of them on trades that are not a part of my strategy, not a part of my plan. And it's disappointing. I'm so disappointed in myself because I've preached this since I've started to have success. As long as you stay in the game and don't blow up and don't have one day where you just crash out and blow your accounts, you're most likely going to get a payout if you have a 60%, 70% win rate. That's all it takes when you're properly managed with risk on these prop firms. And it's even more disappointing because I literally went into Claude and showed y'all the statistics last video after passing these accounts. I'm literally sitting there saying, when you see these statistics right in front of your face, there's literally no reason to break your rules because you know that the probabilities are in your favor. And you can have all those things. You can have all that in your head. But I think the biggest takeaway from this video is that if you don't have these barriers put in place to protect yourself from yourself, you're going to spiral and you're going to blow up. Us as humans, trading goes against every fiber of our human nature. We're not meant to be risking money and losing. This is gambling. It's not trading, right? There's a reason why there's gambling addictions and people lose their houses by gambling. Like, this is gambling. If I'm not following my proven back-tested statistics, it's gambling. So you can tell, like, I'm really riled up and emotional. Right now, this video is 27 minutes long. I'm gonna make it uncut and as raw and authentic as possible, but I don't want to drag it on too long. So with that being said, I'm happy that I blew up and these accounts were blown because I needed to be humbled. I needed to be humbled. And this is incredibly humbling, especially considering that I have a decent platform. Thank each and every one of you who subscribe, who watch these videos, and I pray to God that they provide good value for you guys. But yeah, it's even more humbling because I have to come out and post it on social media. But it's also a good thing because it forces me to be me to be transparent and to own up to my actions and take responsibility for everything that's happening on the charts. And until you take responsibility for your shortcomings and your lack of success and your failures, you will never find any sort of tangible success in the markets. You have to take responsibility. So if there's one thing, one message you can take from this video, it's to take responsibility for your own actions. That is the only way you will start to get payouts. You will start to see tangible success. That's the only way that I've gotten to where I am. Not that I'm anywhere close to where I eventually want to be. I'm constantly striving for improvement. You know, I have my own goals and aspirations. I can be thankful for where I'm at right now and still have those goals, but I will never get to those goals. And where I'm at right now means nothing if I don't take responsibility for what I'm doing on the charts, because that's what got me here. And that's what's going to get me to my goals and where I want to be in the future. To be able to solely provide for myself and my family and set myself up and my family up for a future where I don't have to worry about money, because I can provide for myself and God can allow me to provide for myself through the charts online, doing what I love to do. I don't have to have a boss who's demanding me to I don't have to have any, but I can live on my own terms. That's all that I want. And that's going to come because I take responsibility. I'm the only one who can hold myself accountable. You're the only person who can hold yourself accountable. And that's the way to success. So this video is now 30 minutes long. That's the end of the video. It's unfortunate, but I've already journaled. I'm probably going to journal some more. I'm probably going to rewatch this video. And I'm also going to take a step away this weekend. And after reflecting, take a step back and be ready to come into the market on Monday with a clear mind, ready to just follow my rules because I know that's what's going to get me to where I want to be. And it's that simple. So, appreciate you watching, man. If you made it this long. And that's all I got. All right. Peace.